Hi, this is Juan from JuanTutors.com. Welcome to my totally free office hours. Today we're working on the August 2016 New York Algebra 1 Common Core Regents problem number 34. If you want to access these exams, go to nysedregents.org, click on the appropriate tabs, and all these exams are freely available to you. So here's the problem. Sean incorrectly graphed the inequality negative x minus 2y is greater than or equal to 8, as shown below. Explain Sean's mistake. And then graph the inequality correctly on the set of axes below. Now, there are quite a few mistakes that he could have possibly made. What I recommend in this case, well, first off, pause the video, try it on your own, and see if you get the same answer as us. If you do, click the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Negative x minus 2y is greater than or equal to 8. It's impossible really to see what the mistakes was if we don't, not impossible, improbable to see the mistakes if we don't solve this inequality on our own first. So I'm going to isolate y, so plus x by the inverse operation method, plus x, and you get negative 2y is greater than or equal to x plus 8. And then I divide by negative 2, and I divide by negative 2, and I got y is less than or equal to negative 1/2 x minus 4. So now I see from this that the slope is negative 1/2 and that the y-intercept is negative 4. So he, in this case, the line is graphed correctly, but it looks like the above is shaded, so y is greater than the values on the line. And in this case, y is less than or equal to the graph, the points on the line. So one possible mistake that you could describe is that Sean Sean shaded above the line instead of shading below the line. Shaded above the line. Sorry, above the line instead of below the line. Okay? Another possibility is that there are other possibilities that could lead you to the wrong answer. Like when I described over here, try to remember the mistakes you would have made if you were doing this problem on your own back when you first learned this. Like when you divide by a negative coefficient, the direction of the inequality changes. So you could say also that Sean might not have reversed the direction of the inequality. You could say Sean did not reverse the direction of the inequality And these are two perfectly valid reasons why he would have gotten it wrong, and two perfectly valid reasons that you could give. If you give any of those two reasons, you get 2 points. Any of those two reasons. So let's graph this. So what I do is I graph the y-intercept. So y-intercept is negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And by the way, if you don't change the scaling, you could assume that each box represents 1. But if you do want to change the scaling, like each box represents negative 2, or I'm sorry, 2 spaces, or any other scale, you do have to label the x and y coordinates. But if you don't change the scale, you don't have to label anything. So down 2 over 1, I'm sorry, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. And then also up 1 over negative 2, 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 up 1 over negative 2. Okay, so now I don't quite have a straight edge here, right? But I do have this, and it's not perfect, so you're gonna have to forgive me if I don't get this perfect. It's not a perfect system here. So I'm gonna graph that. Okay, and I move this over here. Okay, that's cool. Let's see if I can It's not, it's again, this graphing system is not perfect, so hopefully that was it. Okay, good. So now in this case, I want to shade below the line. So if I shade this, uh, I shade now below the line because y is less than or equal to the value given by the graph. So that is the graph. And that would give me 2 full points extra on this test, on this problem, giving me a total of 4 out of 4 points. That's all they need. So let's try an example problem. We made a challenge problem for you. It's very similar to the previous one, and we want you to really think about this one. We added a challenge with trying to find 2 mistakes he may have made. So Bilbo incorrectly graphed the inequality x minus 2y is less than 8 as shown below. This graph should look exactly like the previous one. And then explain 2 mistakes Bilbo may have made, and then graph the inequality correctly on the set of axes below. So what I recommended once again is that you do solve the inequality first and see what you get. Because that'll help you determine what the mistakes may have been. So I'm trying to isolate the y, so I subtract x. Excuse me. So negative 2y is less than negative x plus 8. Then I divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. And I remember that one thing that happens when I divide by a negative number is that the inequality changes direction. So y is greater than negative x over negative 2 is 1/2 x. 8 plus divided by negative 2 is minus 4. Okay, and now I see that there's a few differences between this inequality and this graph. This graph has a slope of negative 1/2, but this inequality has a slope of positive 1/2. So one possible mistake that you can describe is that Bilbo may have accidentally drawn the line with a slope of negative 1/2 instead of positive 1/2. Okay. Another possibility. Notice that a lot of times when we divide by a negative number, we forget that a negative divided by a negative is positive. So a possibility is that Bilbo. By the way, Bilbo is Bilbo Baggins from Lord of the Rings. Bilbo may have calculated negative x over 2 over negative 2 equals negative 1/2 x instead of positive 1/2 x. In other words, he made a sign error. That's a possibility, and that's a very valid description of a possible error Bilbo may have made. And let's see. There's one error that I want to point out. There's a few more along those lines that you can think of. So definitely, if you have any other errors that you want to describe for other people who are doing this problem too, point it out in the comment section. But another error that we notice is that this is an inequality. This is a strict inequality, meaning equality is not allowed. So the line that's graphed needs to be dotted. So Bilbo graphed a solid line when he should have graphed a dotted line. Okay, so that's it. So now there's many more mistakes that you could think of, but at this point I'm going to graph this. So y is greater than 1/2 x minus 4, so the y-intercept is negative 4. Once again, I don't have to draw the axes labels because I'm using the standard label. So 1/2, 1 over 2, 1 over 2, 1 over 2, 1 over 2, 1 over 2. And then negative 1 over negative 2 is also positive 1/2. Negative 1 over negative 2, negative 1 over negative 2. Negative 1 over negative 2, and negative 1 over negative 2. Okay, so now I'm going to connect these dots with a dotted line. Uh, Dotted line. Okay, this graphing system does not have dotted lines on OneNote, so I'm gonna do it by hand. Yes, you are required to use a straight edge though, so use a straight edge. These are dotted lines. Okay, good. And now y is greater than positive a half x minus 4, so we should be shading for greater y's, which is above. So shading above. Okay. Notice that shading in the wrong side is not an error that was made in this problem. Okay. So don't say that that was an error. Okay. And that's 4 points. 4 points. Listen, this takes a little bit of work, so keep working at it. I believe in you. I know you can do it. Just keep watching these videos. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button, subscribe. Let your friends know that we're here. And listen, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video starting right now.